folks, how y'all doing? Trent Clark here with Mallett Buildings. We've got a good show for you today. Lee Mallett, a crook or no compassion? Well, folks, before that, let's get started like we do every day. $500 discount to your healthcare workers, military personnel, educator, and first responders. Look, if you're one of those people, make sure you grab an extra $500 on your buildings, okay? That's very important. We're proud to support these groups. Tiger Cash, $1,000. Type in cash to a live feed like this and get $1,000 off your elite or signature building. Where is Mallett Building this week? Mallett Buildings, okay, in Texas, we're in Beaumont, Lake Jackson, Santa Fe, Brazoria. In Louisiana, we're in Prairieville, Lake Charles, Ville Platte, Clinton, Lafayette, Breaux Bridge, Denham Springs twice in our hometown, Iowa. Folks, look, we build buildings, okay? It's you know, a lot of negative feed going on over there, but there's no question that Mallett Building builds the best building. We continue to improve our process, and we have built the best building in the country. All right, there's no debating that. Okay, that's not what's going on here. We'll get in a little further than that, but let's talk about a few of our specials. All right, as always, we like to talk about a classic building. Okay, our classic building, folks, remember, is 100% better than our competitors' best building. What do you get in the classic? Well, classic is 5-on-12 roof pitch, which they don't do. Standard 2x8 scissor truss, which they don't do. You get one 10x10 roll-up door, one 36-inch walk-through door, 4,000 PSI concrete in our building, which they don't do. They're going to give you 3,000 PSI. Superior, stronger, 4-year workmanship warranty. That's it. And look, folks, we've been in business for 26 years. We have the experience. We are a licensed engineering firm right here on staff. All right, we design and engineer your building. Okay, our competitors can't say that. All right, this building this week, 30 by 30, is $22,999, and that is a great on its own, but you're going to get $1,750 free installation that we're throwing on that building. So folks, grab this building while it lasts. You got another special, 30 by 50 by 12 for $31,999. Free installation always, also on this building is $2,450 value that we're throwing in on this building. All right, same specs as the other classic building, still better than all our competition. So that's a great deal. A 40 by 60, you get $48,999. All right, great price. Also throwing in insulation on this for that value of that insulation is $3,150. We're throwing in extra on this already good price, folks. You can't beat what we put out. All right. Now, if you want to upgrade to an elite, we got some specials there too. It's the best building in the country. You got a 30 by 50 by 12 for $43,998. You got a 40 by 50 by 14 for $53,950. You got a 40 by 60 by 16 for $61,598. Look, you might notice that the height of these buildings are different. We're throwing that in on the special. Okay, we're also throwing in some roll-up doors. That's over a $10,000 value that we're throwing in on these specials. The best building in the country just got better on this special. All right, now, still got this little Cajun Oasis. It is an elite package, which means you get all the bells and whistles. It is the best building in the country. It's a 20 by 30 for $29,999. But listen, folks, we're going to give you an electrical package on that, and we're going to give you a 3-ton wall-mounted AC unit. So when we're finished with this building, turn on the lights, turn on the AC, and build it however you want on the inside. Great deal, all right? Now, Mallett Building Ambassador Club. Look, if you have a building out there, we have ambassadors out there that show their buildings, and we pay them a referral fee. If you're interested in that, we got 3 different levels of that. We give away prizes and gifts for being an ambassador here at Mallett. If you're interested in that, text one of the marketing team, and we'll be glad to give you more information. We like to do our 5 red flags, folks. Listen. It's very important to understand that if you're going to do business with somebody, don't you think that they should have a business license, number 1, and you could find that out on the Secretary of State. Number 2, the proper licensure. You can go to the LSLBC and find out if they have a contractor's license. Don't you think it might be a red flag if they don't? I mean, some of this negative feed that's going on that we're seeing, that I'm looking at, you know, you got some competitors trying to take advantage of that, but do your due diligence and check them out. I'm sure you might find one of the red flags on them. All right, contractor violations. You could find that out at the LSLBC. Also, find out if they have any violations. I'm proud to say that we have all the credentials. We have a residential and a commercial contractor's license, and we have no contractor violation after 26 years, folks. All right. Reviews on the BBB and Google. Look, we have over 500 plus reviews on Google and BBB. Most of our competitors don't. Don't you think that's a red flag? I mean, if you're going to Google something that you're going to buy off of Amazon for $12, don't you think it's important to read reviews off of something that you're going to spend that's going to last a lifetime? I sure do. And finally, visit the contractor's facility. Folks, listen. We invite you here. We've got a beautiful facility here. We're adding on, like I said, we are continuing to improve our processes, adding on a roll form plant. We build our own truss. That's why we're the only ones that can offer 2x8 scissor truss. But the red flag might be if you're doing business with somebody and their office is the front seat of their truck and you look in the back and they got tools scattered all over the place. That might be a red flag, folks. I'm not calling anybody out. I'm not being mean. I'm being factual here. It might be a red flag, but we love for you to come visit our facility. So these are the red flags. Now, let's talk about why I choose Mallett over the competition. Listen, all this negative feed, this is what our competition gives. 6x6 posts, 2x6 truss. I was looking at some negative feed earlier on all this negativity that's going on social media. That some of our competitors are trying to take advantage of this. I mean, look, for some lady I read a post, she said she got the same building at a cheaper price from Southern style. Well, look, you need to find out, did you get 2x6 scissor truss? I don't think you did. You probably got 2x6 truss. We do 2x8 scissor truss, all treated. I'm sure I know where they got their truss from, this yellow wood, white wood. Okay, 2x8 headers. Look, ma'am, you got the same building from Southern that was cheaper? I don't think so. I just showed you on the truss, we do 2x8, okay? On the headers, we use 2x12. Everything in our building is treated. We put concrete under the posts. They don't do that. You know, in fact, let me just stop there and tell you what all we do. 10-year workmanship warranty. Number one, kiln-dried lumber on your whole building. Except for the posts, they are treated, but we can't kill drop, so they're so big. 2x8 scissor truss, 5-on-12 roof pitch, 2 free roll-up doors, free roof and wall insulation, 6-inch seamless gutters and gutter brushes. This is all extra value that you get when you shop with us here at Mallett. Insulated windows, lifetime warranty against termite, rot, fungal decay, and of course rust. I mean, come on, folks. There's no question here, all this hype and negativity, there's no question about the buildings we build here, right? I know you know that. We're the best in the business, and we're going to continue to grow and push our limits to continue to improve our process to build the best building in the country. And we have done that. But going on, there's more. On the same thing that we give, continuous ridge vents, 6-inch 4,000 PSI concrete. Folks, 6-inch is 2.5 times stronger than 4-inch, what our competitors give you. We do 4,000, they do 3,000. 4,000 is 33% stronger. Can't you see a superior building? Everybody likes to say that they build a Mallett building, but they just don't, folks. They don't. Everything we do is screwed. All right, we use the quality Zach screws. There's still companies out there, some of our competitors, that don't use that. Remote picture video. Look, we monitor everything that we do from the time your project leaves our facility to the time we're finished with the gutters. We monitor everything. All right, engineered cable retention system, superior to anything out there. Okay, nobody does that. I think they should. It's superior. That's why our buildings last through the hurricanes. Let's see, our buildings are 145 mile an hour wind rated. Post pads under every post. Our competitors don't do that. That's concrete under the post that serves as a pad. Very important. It costs more. They don't do it because it's cheap. Post protectors, skirt boards, all this, they don't do. Anyway, now, what everybody come here today to find out, the real juice. But I wanted to make it very clear that there's all this negativity I've been watching, and there's no comparison. I think what the negativity is about is attacking Lee Mallett's personal character, not the buildings that we construct, even though we have people out there trying to take advantage of that and utilize this negativity to try to sell buildings against us. But be it known, folks, we are continuing to build the best building in the country. That is known. For 26 years we've been doing it. But let's talk about Lee Mallett. Now, first off, before we get into what my team and I, we put together, some stuff, I want to tell you a little personal story of how I met Lee, okay? Because, most people influence people. So if people tell you about Lee Mallett, you might start believing them. But what I do is people come up to me and say, well, you work over there. How's that? I heard this, heard that, heard this. Well, folks, listen. You're going to hear these kind of things about people that are successful. Now, what I tell people is, have you had a conversation with him? Have you sat down and talked to him at dinner? If you haven't done that, folks, then you don't know what you think you know. Okay? All this negativity going on is false accusation. All right? I personally met Lee. My wife started an organization called Smile More a long time ago, and we started the Gatsby Gala. She had an accident. Her husband before me got in a hunting accident and he passed away, and they had a little boy. And she'd started this organization because she knew how important it was for the kids of a relationship that lost a parent. So she started this organization, very, very successful. That's where I first met Lee. He would come to the event from the start. She had it for 5 years and turned it over to McNeese. That's the Gatsby Gala over there. Well, he would come over there and one was always the highest donor there, folks. I didn't know him. Another thing, I admire that about him when I first met him. Another thing I admire, he was always first on the dance floor. Now, I will tell you this, he's always first on the dance floor, but I think I do a little bit better dancing than him, so I'm always second on the dance floor. But anyway, I had to throw that in there because that's a true story. And look, year after year, he has donated to that. That organization helped kids that lost parents, okay? Now, speed up to now. I wanted to tell you my personal story because that's how I met him. Speed up to now, I built houses. I called Lee and he needed help, and I'm here, and one thing led to another, and all of a sudden, here we are. But look, folks, let's think about this. Passion, people's passion sometimes gets read by others in the wrong way. What do I mean by that? Well, Lee's a very passionate man. He's very passionate about building the best building. He's very passionate. Anything he's working on, if he's working for free at LSU or doing stuff at the State Contractors Board for free, he's passionate about what he does. And sometimes, when people are passionate, other people look at that as being pushy, persuasive, all that. But look, passionate people build things. They push through things. They demand results, okay? So please understand that, I'm not going to sit up here and tell you that the Lee Mallett, I admire the man. He's done a great deal for the community. But don't judge his passion to build the best building. Don't judge his passion for all the organizations that he does to be pushy and all that. He just wants results, okay? And he gets them because of people like that. We got to have people like that in this world, or things won't be successful. Let's get into the juice. Service beyond the building. Look, this is a snippet of the things that he donates to, all right? And I saw some of the negative comments out there. Well, he donates for a tax benefit. Well, folks, let me tell you something. He could get a tax benefit for a house in Mexico, okay? He don't do that. He donates money to all these organizations. We're going to get into some where I'm personally there at some, all right? Compassionate actions. Founder of Sanctuary of Louisiana, nearly 12 years helping men recover from addiction. Licensed and audited by DHH, DOC, and CARF accredited. Folks, how do you think all this negative stuff you said about that, he's accredited. Y'all think that these people will let him stay running that organization if he would do the things that you say and all that negative feed that y'all post? I don't think so. Sanctuary, Louisiana, the only facility in Louisiana combining work release, treatment, and rehabilitation on one campus, treating addiction and disease, folks. Founder Academy Training Skills. All right, he's trying to help people get skills so they can get work. People, I mean, last night driving home, watching all these negative feeds, I said, man, we got to do something. So I got the team together today, and we needed to do something to show that Lee is not people are portraying him out there the wrong way. You know, it's so simple to do that when you have negative people. But we wanted to show you some of the real actions. 200 plus scholarships funded for Louisiana students, folks. I mean, come on. Mallett Cares, community outreach programs supporting various Fun Day, youth programs, and local charities. Avenue of Flags, Veteran Fun Day. He supports that. He cooks for them. They go out and fish, have fun. He don't have to do that, folks. He takes his time out to do that for people. Avenue of Flags, we've donated 2 buildings to them after somebody stole all the flags for the memorial ground. People that you're talking about, the negative people, the crooks and uncompassionate, don't do this kind of stuff, folks. McNeese State University donated over $300,000 to support students. St. Nicholas Center for Children donated $200,000. In fact, that's one of the organizations I go with him to. I said, Lee, I even walked up to him, got out, and I said, Lee. I said, you're bidding too much. He looks up at me, he says, it's for the kids. It's for the kids. That's what his remark was to me. It was for the kids. I said, okay, you're right. Bid up a storm, and he does. All right? Youth Sports donated batting cages and field houses for Iowa High School. I mean, look. Senior Support donated nearly 2,000 square foot of event center for the elderly community. Partners in Parks, Lake Charles supported upgrades to Drew Park. Big Brothers, Big Sisters engaged in mentorship. Come on, folks. I mean, look, anybody can sit up there and do false accusations. But what's the true character of a man? All right? Because he's compassionate, you're going to judge his actions. When people don't understand, compassion can be looked at it in different ways. That's not fair, folks. That's not fair. Community service. He's not just building buildings, he's rebuilding lives. I just showed you some of them. Jenny's got a batting cage. St. Louis High School right now, we're donating a free building to raise money for them. Seniors and Events Center, compassion and concrete. That's what you need to be thinking. Say you don't have no compassion. I mean, come on, folks. Sanctuary, Louisiana is CARF accredited. Addiction Recovery that cares, not indifference. Who else donates building scholarship and sports facilities? That's heart, folks, not hype. I mean, let's set the record straight. You know, as the title says, Crook, not compassionate. This is the truth. I gave you my story about him. Every generation has felt his compassion. Kids, veterans, students, seniors, and men in recovery. I mean, this is not made up. This is factual information, folks. All right, let's see. Compassion is woven into Lee's work. He founded Sanctuary, as I stated. You know, Second Chance, he donates buildings outright. What all I just said, folks. What more do you need? All right, public service, founded and operated for 26 years of business, over 20,000 buildings on the ground. Folks, do you think that if he was crooked, that we would be this successful? All right, as I stated, he's very passionate about what we do, okay, and how we do things. Licensed contractor, state Louisiana residential, commercial, and electrical. Strict criteria required. Do you think that if there was some crooked business going on, that we would have this kind of, that he would still have this. Chairman of the Louisiana State License Board, that he works for free for over 15 years. Every week he's going that, giving free service to all this. Vice Chair, LSU Board of Supervisors, also served on the Presidential Search Committee guiding higher education leadership. Takes a lot of his time that he donates for free. There's one thing that you can't buy in this world is time, and he donates it for free to those organizations I just told you about. Citizens Insurance Board from 2006 to under Kathleen Blanco was appointed. Founder of Academy of Training Skills, which I told you about earlier. Founder of Sanctuary Louisiana, which I showed you about earlier. All these are governed and guarded by people. You can't just open these businesses. They are monitored by people. And you sit out there in the negative comments that I saw saying that these don't work. We got people here that are great employees that come from there. Owner of one of the only trust plants in Louisiana, advanced construction, quality, and creating jobs. 300 plus scholarships donated through LSU program, folks. 20 years of continuous public service across multiple boards under multiple governors. All right. Now, business profile, 26 years in business, 20,000 buildings built. Crooks don't last that long, folks. They just don't. State contractors' licenses aren't handed out. They're revoked if you're dishonest. He's been having his all these years. If he were a crook, he wouldn't still be licensed and chairing the contractor licensing board. That's a fact. Monitored and audited by DOC, DHH, and state boards. No room for funny business here. 20,000 plus buildings, 200 scholarships, 20 plus years of service. That's building up Louisiana, not tearing it down like some of these negative comments say. Sanctuary Louisiana is the only campus of its kind, licensed and audited. That's cutting edge, not crooked, folks. Addiction is a disease, not a scandal. Lee is tackling it hand on with real solutions. He's tackling it head on, folks, with real solutions. Nobody else out there is doing this. He's trying to make a difference, and I believe he is. We employ some of these people here, and they do a good job. Some of them fall off, but they get back up on their feet. It's about giving people chances. Trusted by governors, boards, and universities alike. That doesn't happen by accident. So what's the true character of the man that y'all are talking about and being negative about? I think this spells it out to you, folks. I really do. Now, let's move on to here. Calling someone a crook after 26 years in business and 20,000 business on the ground doesn't hold water. Lee Mallett is licensed by the state as a residential, commercial, and electrical contractor. Credentials that require strict oversight and are revoked if anything illegal happens. He has chaired the state contractors board, served on the LSU Board of Supervisors and Citizens Insurance Board, and given over 200 scholarships to students. He founded Sanctuary Louisiana, licensed and audited by the Department of Health and Hospitals and the Department of Corrections, making the only facility in the state that combines incarceration-based treatment and rehabilitation. Folks, this shows me a man that is not what all the negative feed is out there saying. All right. Now, what I want to talk about, now that that's out the way, if you got any questions about that, please give us a call. Look, if you out there want to come up on a live and talk about things, we ask you. Lee asked you the other day. We invite you anytime you want to come. Why? Because we're everything we have is factual. There's no hiding over here. Now, with that being said, let's talk about this. We got a lot of competitors out there that are trying to take advantage of this negative situation, all this feed stuff. Let's talk about the scoreboard, folks. This is Louisiana based. Who's Louisiana based? We got, a few of them. You got Southern Style, you got Precision, Ranger Built, Beck, Fortify's not. Apache Builders, Brandon, all these, you got the most checks there. Now let's look at the next criteria. 12 years in post frame. All right, Rob Built has a check, but they're not Louisiana based. They're out of state company. Only other people is Mallett Buildings. All right, 20 plus years in post frame. Let's see who lasts there. Well, Rob Build has that too, but like I said, they're out of state company. Mallett Buildings has to check all these other ones: Southern Style, Precision, Ranger, Beck, Fortified, Apache, Branded, RJM, Southern Quality. None of them have checks, folks. License 1 year plus, just license, which is a red flag if you don't have them. 1 year, no checks. We're the only one, Mallett Building, has a check. 0 violations. Well, Rob Built doesn't have any violations. They're out of state. Apache, but look at Southern Style. Violations, folks. Look at Precision. Violations. Ranger. Violations. Beck. Violations. Fortified. Violations. Apache, hands down to you, have no violations. Branded, no violations. RJM, no violations. Southern Quality, violations. Mallett, no violations. A+ accredited BBB. Nobody has that but us here at Mallett. Do you see all the check marks here? This is factual information, folks. We're not making this up. 500 plus reviews on, nobody has that but us here at Mallett. Legitimate facility, somewhere where you can visit, somewhere where you can conduct business, sit in an office, grab a water, some popcorn. We have that. Well, let's see. Fortify has that too. But Southern Style don't, Rob Built don't, Precision don't, Beck doesn't, Apache doesn't, Branded doesn't, RJM doesn't. All right, let's see. Survive 9 or more hurricanes. Well, look, because of the superior product that we put out, we're the only ones that can say that. Why? Because of those 2x8 headers I was telling you about, the cable retention system, the 2x12 headers, our scissor truss. All that plays a very important role in surviving hurricanes. All right, so folks, that's going to wrap up our show today. We really appreciate you tuning in. If you have any questions, like I said, we invite you down here to talk. We invite you on live. Anybody that wants a friendly debate is welcome to come over here. We don't bite. We're factual. But we appreciate your business out there, folks. And remember, Mallett Buildings builds the best building in the country. We'll see you tomorrow.